I'm going to hold myself to a higher standard now because I owe not only myself, but I owe all those other members in this new religious community in which there's a singular book, there's a singular individual who is the model, who is the prescriber, the doctor for every aspect of life. There are some who interpret that only prayer can save you, that they reject all medical care. They reject blood transfusions because they are actually acting on those beliefs. They are acting on the book. If you say it's the word, the inviolable, perfect word of some theological deity. It is, but only because we have been the messengers for all creativity, all storytelling, which is lying. You're lying in order to entertain. You're lying to justify your unique position of power and influence. Can't you imagine that human society would have had those same frailties back then? What was the motivation for the commandments? To harmonize people's relationship together. And you could, there's no one that has to be celebrated. You celebrate Moses, or you celebrate, Buddha and these other, Confucius, these other singular human beings who themselves were building on all of the trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of ways in which sunlight was trapped in photosynthesis, and how that energetic vibration was transferred to everything that's ever existed, everything that has ever transpired. We are iron, zinc. These are amounts of protons and neutrons that have a specific charge and thus specific qualities, specific shapes that refract and reflect the white light of all spectrums into our eyes and into our visual cortex that crosses over and then flips the image of that simulation into consciousness, or into a form that consciousness, a network of electro regional activations, new highways, new roller coasters within consciousness. Maybe it's chemical, maybe it's physiological. In dominance, what's the calibration of these different features that we have? How can I use my breath to enhance the further perfection of the unification? What is it that gives you rights? Your human DNA design. And that means that there's a place in between your ear and your shoulder that enables you to maximally awaken and thus maximally sensitize yourself to your experience. You thought you were at 100%. I'm alive, I'm thinking, I'm talking. But when you begin to move in a slow motion way, looking for, exploring, like Magellan, like those Polynesians who first populated, those Polynesian islands, the Hawaii, Samoa. These were explorers. Think about the human migration. We wanted to go see something new. Maybe it'll be amazing too. Maybe it'll be different. And somebody's gonna figure out how to survive, and they're gonna stay. and they'll teach other people. But if everyone else wants to leave, if everyone else wants to go further, it's okay. The world was so big, and it's still so big. It's still so vast. This is what makes us better than all of the other figures in history. You know, like, I think that people should say, hey, you know, there are a lot of saints, there are a lot of people who are perfect that we have beatified. But there are some living today who possess certain powers to communicate in such a way that they are empowering. Why else do you think I've created this furniture system? Except to empower people.
And we really all have to accept it as a fact.
I just added these. They work, even in isolation. The key is you just got to take them off at the same time, and you've got to put them on at the same time. Make sure it's square. These have just gotten loose. The great thing about these is they have two screws there, and you can see the other pattern. So that gives you a way. If you just don't, if you don't have if these loosen, or if these are not spaced appropriately, these can fit vertically and horizontally and use different pieces of the lumber to hold the screws in and to strengthen it. So these two types of latch can be added or substituted for each other. Now, this, you have 3 on each. So we'll see. We'll see, because this is flatter. This is slightly elevated. And this seems to be a problem on the edges. Now, a lot of this is the result of this. This is actually a pretty flat one, but all of these boards have some type of natural warp to them, or they will over time. And part of the, fixing of them to these other structures is rooted in counterbalancing that would-be warp. Sometimes if the seat is warped kind of in a convex way, I think of concave, looks like a cave, and convex is the opposite. So sometimes you have to just take a little bit of sandpaper to the middle, and then you kind of go out, and that gives you a reduction that enables it to fit more securely. And that's just what I've got to start doing. Unless I can naturally have, say, this one wants to become slightly convex. this one wants to become, hold on. Yeah, I want the convex to match with another, well, it would have to be okay, so if this is convex and this would also be convex, but the way that they are formed needs some